inside the Enterprise Center, a special 1-hour edition of Twitter Blues Live. And along with Jamie Rivers, Scott Warman, great to have you alongside here as we get set to drop the puck on Game 6. It's bananas. That's all I can say. You saw the shots at downtown, folks. It's unbelievable. You can figure out, you Blues fans at home know how long we all have been waiting for this moment, Jamie Rivers. Let's take it from a player's perspective. They've got to be excited. Easier for us to sit here and talk about it, but honestly, got to keep a focus. That's got to be probably the most difficult thing for Craig Berube to tell his guys to stay focused on the task at hand.
Yeah, the leadership group here for the St. Louis Blues, they have a lot of work to do. Obviously, we've seen the scene out front, out back, the people everywhere around St. Louis. This is a huge deal for all Blues fans and for the city of St. Louis. Now, the Blues have to try and keep that focus inside that locker room and try to ignore all this amazing noise that's outside here, and they're going to have to do it in 5-minute increments, Scotty. You can't look one period, two periods down the line. This group is going to have to stay focused. 5-minute periods. Try to stay focused. Try to stay on your game. Try to play Blues hockey and not worry about the results so much right now. We've talked about it before. It's the process and the way they do it that's going to matter.
No doubt about it. Well, of course, the whole city is behind him and looking into this game number 6 against the Boston Bruins. And, of course, as you see the scene outside, the Blues, of course, have to focus on this game. It's just another game as they've been shown time and time again. And with more on that, let's head inside the Enterprise Center for the first time and check in with our own Erica Weston more on the Blues focus here in game number 6. Erica, good evening to you inside Enterprise Center.
Good evening, Scotty. I know there's a lot going on around you guys, as there will be and has been all playoffs for the St. Louis Blues, whether it was the whiteout in Winnipeg, the brick wall that was Ben Bishop, the high-powered offense that they shut down in the San Jose Sharks. They've been able to shut that down, block it all out, which has led them to this point, 1 win away from a Stanley Cup. Certainly you can look at Craig Berube being a big part of that. Obviously at the helm, helping them stay on message time and time again, including those controversial moments. But he did voice his concern about the emotion leading into Game 3 here at home. But now the Blues feel better equipped this time around to block out the energy around them and focus on this game as if it were any other.
Business as usual. We know we need a big start, and yeah, our focus is on that. We're not worried about the outcome, just focus on the process, coming out with a lot of jump and energy and trying to find our game right away.
Don't overtry. Don't think you have to have the best game of your life to win. I think you just got to keep it simple and focus on just playing your game. And I think that's what we got to focus on tonight, not the outcome after the third period.
Guys, as you've seen, as we've all seen when we walk into the Blues locker room this season, there's a shelf that sits on inside the wall inside the Blues locker room. It's a shelf for pucks after wins. Not many pucks on that wall, on that shelf earlier on in the season. It slowly started to fill up. You can see the Flyers puck from when Jordan Binnington took over later in the season. But now, ironically, that shelf sits completely full with just one spot left sitting at the very top. That one puck left for a Stanley Cup win. And these guys will no doubt about be playing the biggest game of their hockey lives. Scott.
All right, Erica, thanks so much. More from Erica as we move along on our edition of Twitter Blues Live. And now joining us on set right now is the Hall of Famer, of course, Bernie Federico, as he joins us here on the studio set. Bananas, that's all I can say.
That's a good word. It is absolutely crazy, man. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, some of the overhead shots from cameras in the vicinity, all the people that are down here, and most of these people don't have tickets to the game either. So this is pandemonium. I just absolutely love the reaction from the crowd, from the city of St. Louis, and the Blues right now are very excited about what they're doing. And just downstairs by the locker room, it's all business. There's no one really looking ahead, too far ahead. There's no one really, I didn't even see that many nerves, which is kind of hard to believe, but these guys are focused. They know what their job is, and let's hope they can get it done tonight.
All right, guys, let's get to the news heading into Game 6. As we all found out on Friday night, Ivan Barbashev with that hit in Game 5 in Boston. Remember it in the first period as he would hit Bruins forward Marcus Johansson. during that Blues victory on Thursday in TD Garden. And of course, he is suspended and will miss tonight's game. And Bernie, I'll start with you. Your thoughts first on the suspension handed out by the NHL to Ivan Barbashev.
Well, I didn't like it. I mean, again, I keep saying that a lot of the times what happens is that things happen in a game. Officials miss things. We saw that happen when the hand pass against San Jose. There was no retribution for that because the game was over. Now, all of a sudden, a hit like this, there was no penalty call. If you want to find the guy, go ahead. But this is a Stanley Cup final. There's 2 possible games left, and to take a very valuable part of the game or the team for the Blues out of the lineup, I think that's just wrong from the league. I mean, I'm all about player safety as well, but to see something like this happen, I just don't like it. I mean, I think that don't take the team. This is a team sport,
right,
and it is a physical game. And I mean, Barbashev was not trying to do anything. He was finishing his check there. Unfortunately, again, shoulder pad hits the head, and I think we see too many times now that the upper echelon, the video review has a more control over the game, and then what's actually happening on the game for the referees.
Yeah, and I think that's the way they've been dealing with things. Is they call the minor penalty, and they say that if there's something greater to come, then they'll deal with it with the review panel. Now, unfortunately, I think the only thing that worked against Ivan Barbashev was that he was already fined once this postseason.
Sure.
And so whether it was bad or not or whatever, they look at it as a repeat offender, which, I don't agree with either, Bernie. And there's so many hits that happen throughout the course of the game that you could have picked 3 or 4 on each side and decided to suspend guys.
That's my point, Jamie. That's exactly it, is that, okay, look at every one of the hits. Well, you've got, there was 85 hits in that game. It was 44 to 41. So you're going to look at every one of the hits and say that this was good, this was bad. This is not the way that this, I mean, the officials have got to do their jobs. The referees, it's a hard game, it's a fast game. And if you want to go ahead and find someone for that, but I mean, to take them out of the, might be the most important game of his life, and really for the entire team, and you're really, you put them behind the 8 ball. I don't like that.
All right, so let's look at the 4th line, because we've been talking about for at least the last 2 series how effective the Sundqvist, Barbashev, and Steen line have been. They have ended up, Bernie, a lot more minutes in the Stanley Cup Finals and really going up against that top line and shutting them down, the Bergeron line, 5-on-5.
One of the biggest reasons the Blues are right now in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final is because they've been able to use all 4 lines. And this 4th line, we can't even call them a 4th line anymore. And when you look at the amount of the ice time that they're getting, they're being used in really big spots too, playing against the top line. They've been going again head-to-head with Bergeron for really the entire playoff, and that's fantastic when you have your 4th line going against that. But they finish their check. They make it hard to play against them, and I think that's why the Boston Bruins are having trouble with them. And now that really hurts to have Barbashev out of the lineup, but every time things like this have happened, Craig Berube comes up with a good solution to it, and I expect with what we're seeing tonight, the Blues will be going to be fine.
And the other thing is how the penalty kill will be affected, because obviously Sundqvist and Barbashev play on that top PK. Speaking of forward lines, obviously we've got some changes, guys, with Ivan Barbashev out of that Sundqvist line. And why don't we take a look at the lines tonight against the Boston Bruins? And there you see the top line, the second line with O'Reilly, Perron, and Sanford. Here's the interesting mix here, Jamie Rivers. Robert Thomas, who has been missing since Game 1, returns to that Bozak Maroon line, which was so effective, but how effective can Robert Thomas be? I think that's a big question.
Well, he has proven throughout this postseason that he's a force to be reckoned with. In the last game against Dallas, he may have been the best player on the ice without the last name Bishop. He was fantastic, and you know what? His injury, whatever it may be, there's speculation on this, that, the other. It doesn't matter. I think, Bernie, that come tonight here, Game 6, a chance to close out the Stanley Cup. You and I both know that I don't think he'll feel any pain tonight.
No, there is absolutely no pain from anybody. And when I look at what's going on with Robert Thomas, I think, again, here's a kid that's 19 years old. He doesn't know any better right now. He's coming back into the lineup. He actually wants to be out there. Obviously, we all want to be out there. You and I would like to be out there right now for Game 6. But Robert Thomas has been absolutely outstanding the second half of the year. That line was a factor because of him. I mean, he carries the puck. He always gets the zone. Fit in perfectly with the big body of Maroon, and of course the way the smarts of Bozak. That line has been absolutely outstanding. So when I look at that line, I think that line could be really back to where they were. Now again, maybe the 4th line is a little different, but the other line, we see how good O'Reilly's line has been, and of course the Shen line has been fantastic. with Schwartz and with Tarasenko.
One thing here too, Scotty, sorry, you got to remember he's a young man. He's never played this much hockey in his career, so he got a little bit of a rest too. So those young legs might be full of energy tonight, especially with this kind of a crowd and this kind of a moment ahead of him.
And he was in Canada's championship for juniors last year, Memorial Cup, so he knows what pressure is to play under. So I expect him to be very, very fine.
All right, gang, more coming up on our special 1-hour edition of Missouri Royal the Blues Live. Memorable moments in Blues history. 1986, the Monday Night Miracle. Bernie and I will be joined by one of his teammates when we come back on Fox Sports Midwest.
Dear Fun, I just can't have enough of you. We are simpatico, my brother. Born to ride free, sing out loud, and tear up trails. I'd go anywhere with you. Seriously, you make me laugh my roof rails off. Let's go, RAV4.
Lease a new 2019 RAV4 for $259 per month, or get $1,250 finance cash when you buy a RAV4. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome to Freddy's.
My parents are cutting out all desserts, but a kid needs a treat. A dirt and worm sundae, please.
You got it, sir.
If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. Freddy's, the experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Hey guys, we're live.
I am unstoppable. I'm not afraid to be me. I am full of possibility.
Girls on the Run inspires girls to be joyful, healthy, and confident. Dedicated volunteer coaches help 3rd to 8th grade girls embrace their strengths and celebrate what makes them unique. They team up for a community service project, then finish with a 5K. Thanks to our volunteers and partners, Girls on the Run can be a game changer for young girls. Log on to Girls on the Run for more information.
Blues Live on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Continue on. 1:10 remaining. A shot, they score! Pavlovsky! Fedorko steals the puck from Reinhardt. Over to Hunter, who shoots, block. Wickenheiser scores! Doug Wickenheiser! The Blues pull it off, and it's unbelievable. There'll be a 7th game.
Back then, how about now?
What a moment at the old barn back on May 12, 1986. The Blues overcoming a 3-goal deficit in the 3rd period against the Calgary Flames to complete an amazing comeback as the Blues win it to force a Game 7 in the conference finals some 33 years ago on May 12th. Bernie Fedorko, not only, as we all know, a part of that assist and a part of that game, and a part, of course, our member here at Fox Sports Midwest, but his teammate Gino Cavallini joins us right now. Gino, great to see you, man.
Great to see you guys. Bernie, good to see you.
Always a pleasure, Gino.
How about this, first of all?
This is unbelievable. This is so, we felt the excitement before we crossed the Mississippi coming over. So it's great.
Well, we just saw that highlight about 1986. Now, it was loud then, Gino. What do you compare now? I mean, this is the Stanley Cup final. What do you think of this compared to what we went through in 86?
This is the noise in here last game surpassed what I experienced at the United Center in the Chicago Stadium. This is the loudest, hands down.
Well, you mentioned that. Of course, you had that big goal. What was it, the 90 playoffs, right? You had that goal late. And take us through that moment for you, Gino.
That was, you know, it's hard you know, bring those memories back other than you're just ecstatic when it was all over. You know, it was, I think we were in overtime.
It was late in the game, and here's Gino, gets the rebound, slaps the pass. And of course, it's against the Blackhawks. That's the best thing about it.
Oh my God, that's why I work up there. That's why they hate me so much in that city.
The high stack pad shot over the stack pads, Gino. That's impressive. That's a set of hands.
No, thanks to Oates and Hully for the stick they gave me back then.
Well, Gino, we go back to 86 when you're with Bernie, and I think people don't realize the part of that is you knew a lot of those guys on the Calgary team because you were just a part of the Flames.
The worst thing after going after the second period, going to the locker room, those guys were all yucking it up and laughing at us going into the locker room, knowing that we were down 4-1 and they pretty much had us in the bag. And that was payback that night, that's for sure.
Well, so many good things happened that night. I mean, that year, I look at the year that the Blues are having this year, Gino, again, was a terrible start to the year, and all of a sudden in January, things started happening. I think when I look back to '86, we weren't on paper the best team in the National Hockey League by any means, but Calgary, one of the top teams, and then they had gotten Joey Mullen, who everybody thought was going to put him over the edge. Well, we gave everybody a run, and I look at the heart that we had, and I really compare it to the heart that this team has now, watching them each and every night.
No, they come to work. You know, we knew what our talent was, and we had to bring extra every game, every shift, and it didn't matter whether I didn't know what my role was at the time, and I just tried to do as much as I could, you know, within the bounds of the team what Jacques Demers wanted us to do.
Hey, Gino, really quick before we let you go, just your thoughts on this team, what they've accomplished, and where they're at right now in tonight's game.
You know what, their physical presence has gotten them this far, and I just think they just have to keep playing that style of that heavy game in the offensive zone, just wearing the opposition down. I mean, it's pretty simple, actually.
And I'd like to see them score on the power play tonight, too. That would be a big thing.
Well, you know they're due. So, yes, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I agree.
Gino, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for having me,
Great
guys.
to see you.
Gino, always a pleasure.
Cavallini,
the best.
longtime member of the St. Louis Blues. Stick around, more coming up on this edition of Twitter Blues Live. St. Louis, we had the Rally Squirrel, the Rally Cat. Well, now we have the Rally Chinchilla. More on that when we come back.
Save $50 now at Plaza Tire Service on eligible sets of Nokian tires. Roll into spring with Nokian quality at a great price from Plaza Tire Service and save even more with a $50 instant rebate. Get new tires and keep more money in your pocket at Plaza Tire Service.
We are a team of many with one goal, pushing boundaries in cancer research, treatment, and prevention. We have created a nationally recognized cancer center with 6 locations and a regional network built on a legacy of exceptional science. But it's more than discovery. It's more than exceptional medicine, more than innovative treatment. It's about care. It's about hope. It's about you.
They're the world's greatest on the biggest stage. And they're all fighting for one thing.
Japan is imposing their game.
This is what England should be. The great Martha.
This German offense is so deep.
Let them take aim.
At Children's Cancer Research Fund, we believe a world without childhood cancer is possible, but it takes all of us. And whether it's developing a groundbreaking treatment or helping a girl realize her dream, everyone has a role in a child's cancer journey.
People ask me how I keep a smile on my face. It's easy when you have so many great people that take care of you and support you.
To find out how you can be a part of a child's cancer journey and a part of the cure, visit childrenscancer.org, a public service message from Children's Cancer Research Fund.
As the Blues and Bruins battle it out in the Stanley Cup Final, Fox Sports Midwest is there, live before and after every game. Blues coverage for Blues fans. Exclusive pre- and post-game shows during the Stanley Cup Final on Fox Sports Midwest.
All right, we're going to do a little flashback. Remember October 5th, 2011, the National League Division Series between the Cards and the Phillies? A squirrel runs across home plate, and the rest, of course, is history. The squirrel caught the attention of the media and fans across the country, became the unofficial mascot during the Cardinals' run to the world title back in 2011. So 2011, we have the Rally Squirrel, and now it is 2019. And look what we have. The Rally Chinchilla is with us here on stage right now. Of course, Ben Friedman, he's with Barstool Sports. He's a St. Louis native. And Ben, you brought this Rally Chinchilla, Boris, over the last 2 games when they were here, and you're back again.
Yes, sir.
And you got him inside the actual arena.
Listen, when you have something that's working, you got to keep going with it. I've been a Blues fan my whole life, and we've never had a Stanley Cup. This Magic Rat, he might just do it. So that's, I got to keep him here as long as possible.
How did Boris react to the loudness of the arena and everything else?
He's built, his name's Big Game Boris. He's built for these type of atmospheres. He thrives on it.
So, Benny, just for people who don't know how this started, how did it start with you and Boris and the whole playoff run?
I was honestly just watching the first Winnipeg game. I was on live stream, and they, of course, came back kind of miraculously at the end. I was like, oh, man, this is crazy. I was fired up. I just started playing Gloria, and I was like, Boris, come here, because he lives in my apartment. I knew he was fired up. He's a big Blues fan. We started dancing, and it just caught on. It was a miracle, honestly.
All right, so I know this is when Jamie brought to my attention was the last game. Boris got to meet Brett Hall.
He got to meet Brett Hall. Listen, a couple St. Louis legends, Boris and Brett Hall, but I think Brett was pretty excited to meet him, and it's good to make people's dreams come true. You know, he scored 741 goals, but this, I think, had to be a pretty big moment in his life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's a magic rat.
Now, rumor has it that Boris had a police escort down here to Enterprise Center today. Are those rumors true?
I can confirm, yeah, that is true. Shout out to Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. He hooked it up. He knew. He said a lot of people were saying mean things to Boris online. We got to keep him protected. He's a made man. So that's basically what we did. You know, a little police escort. He did great. He's doing great.
Absolutely.
Now, Dave Portnoy, the stool presidente over at Barstool Sports, we know he's a Boston guy, obviously, so a little heated for sure around the office. Now, what does he think of Boris? And was there any concern that he'd reach out and try and get him kidnapped?
I mean, of course there's a concern. He's known as the dirtiest player in the game by his own admission. And, I mean, of course, but I wasn't going to let him touch him. You know, he's good at a lot of things. He's won a lot of championships as a Boston sports fan, but he's never beat Boris. And you know what? Tonight, if they take care of business, I think he may be seeing him in his nightmares pretty soon.
Benny, thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it, buddy. Yes, Boris, good luck tonight, buddy.
Go Blues!
That is Boris, the rally chinchilla that has made it into the first two games of this thing. Meanwhile, Pat Maroon with a moment earlier this postseason that he'll never forget, scoring the game-winning goal in double overtime to beat the Dallas Stars in Game 7 to advance to the Western Conference Finals. Now the St. Louis Kid has a chance to win a Stanley Cup in front of his family and friends in his hometown. Earlier today, Pat spoke with her own Erica Weston.
All right, thanks very much, guys. Patty, St. Louis Kid, this team needs no reminding what's on the line tonight, but perhaps maybe you better than anybody else understands what this night might be like, considering for the team, for the franchise, but maybe more importantly, the city of St. Louis.
Yeah, we're all excited. Being from St. Louis, and the buzz around St. Louis right now is electric, and everyone knows what's at stake tonight, and we're certainly excited, and I'm excited. Being from St. Louis and have this opportunity to do something special and putting that jersey on every night and having season tickets and being part of a franchise that's been in situations for so many years, and, you know, the Blues fans get the opportunity to, you know, witness something special tonight. So hopefully we come out and we focus and we play a good hockey game.
You told us after the game when you guys beat the Sharks to advance to the Stanley Cup final, you talked about your dad and how much it meant to him to see this team advance, and considering he's had season tickets for so long. Obviously, I'm sure he knows you have a job to do, but has he shared with you what that might mean to him?
We haven't really talked about it. You know, I called him after the San Jose game as I was going to the airport to go to Boston. He's like, it's still just, I can't believe what's happening right now. And I'm just excited. And he's a man that doesn't really say much, but I think if something special happened, he would just, I'm sure he would say something. And but he's keeping it all in right now. I think a lot of people are just keeping it all in because everyone's anxious and nervous, and but everyone's also excited. So a lot of stuff is building up. So hopefully we can play a good hockey game tonight.
We have seen footage of you throughout the season. Right before you take the ice, you talk about my friends. I'm ready to go into battle with my friends. Is that a good reason why this team has gotten so far and fought so hard this season and now on the brink of history? Because it truly is a group of friends going out on the ice to battle together.
Yeah, it really is. You know, these guys, I've grew so close to these guys, and we've come together as a team, and everyone's just coming together and bringing guys in different ways. And I'm just a guy that's a goofy guy that just tries to bring everyone together and just try to do the little things and make everyone kind of feel loose before the game. And these guys are all my best friends. You know, these guys, we've been through so much this year, and it's so nice to go out there and battle with these guys. And, you know, we've been sweating and, you know, ice bagging together, cold tub, hot tub together. So it's nice to go out there and battle with these kind of guys. And where we were in the beginning of the year to see where we are now, it means the world to me to, you know, have these guys beside me.
Erica, Patty, thanks. Much more to come on Toyota Blues Live. The voice of the Blues, John Kelly, joins us next as we continue to get you ready for Game 6 between the Blues and the Bruins on your home of the Blues, Fox Sports Midwest.
When you play the Missouri Lottery, you may not see where your dollar goes. To the potential it nurtures, to the future it fuels. But with every dollar you spend, you're supporting Missouri public education. Even if you don't see the change you're making, our students do. Thank you for playing it forward.
This is a commercial about insurance. I know you're thinking, I don't want to hear about insurance. Because let's be honest, nobody likes dealing with insurance, right? See, insurance knows it's expensive.
I feel like I'm giving my money away.
So they're making it affordable.
Thank you, Dennis Quaid.
You're welcome, Guy in Kitchen.
I named my character Walter.
That's great. I'd tell you more, but I only have 30 seconds, so here's a dramatic shot of their tagline so you'll remember it. When insurance is affordable, it's surprisingly painless.
Look at the sight, need to step back, cause you design, so watch out with the bleed. Need some faith, but talk is cheap. Rhyming and finding it hard to perceive, rather than trying to best believe.
Pink. Let's go, Mets.
To love somebody, to love somebody.
When you sit back and really think about the amount of time and effort that it takes, you realize that it's been a long road.
The St. Louis Blues are headed to the Stanley Cup Final.
I think every kid dreaming about it to win the Stanley Cup.
The Blues win Game 2. 8-4, 2 Blues lead in Game 4. And the Blues have the lead. 3-2.
This is our time to finish the story we started.
Our dream is right in front of us. We've earned this opportunity, and now it's time to make history.
It's been a long time, but the wait is over.
And could the journey conclude tonight here at the Enterprise Center? As you see, the crowd is starting to file in at the EC, getting ready for Game 6 with the Blues up 3-2. And, of course, one of the top stories, Ivan Barbashev out. Robert Thomas back in the lineup for the first time since missing after Game 1 of this series. Earlier today, Andy Strickland spoke with Thomas about making his return to the ice tonight in Game 6.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Well, Robert, when did you know that tonight was a real possibility and you'd find yourself into the lineup?
Yeah, I've been feeling pretty good last couple of days, so I kind of had a good idea that I was going to be able to get a chance to get back in. So yeah, it's obviously feels really good, and I can't wait to get back out there.
Where are you health-wise right now? Obviously good to play, but how difficult has it been to nurse an injury and not be able to be out there with your teammates?
Yeah, I mean, watching the game from up there is a lot harder than playing it. You're way more nervous up there. Your gut's turning the whole time. So, I'm just happy to be back.
You played in some big games before, Memorial Cup finals, gold medal games in the World Junior Championships. You have a chance to win the Stanley Cup tonight. How does this compare?
Yeah, it's definitely, those are some pretty big games, but nothing really compares to this one. So, I'm really excited. I know that, the guys are really excited, but we know they're going to give us their best game, so we got to be ready for that.
All right, you're living with Keith Tkachuk. What kind of advice has he given you?
Yeah, he's always given me great advice. So, he just keeps talking about, being composed, sticking with what works, and really playing your game, and, everything will go well from there.
You had a great final stretch of the regular season. You carried that over into the playoffs, Robert. How do you expect to impact the game tonight?
Yeah, you know what? I just want to get in there and help the team. Obviously, it sucks that Barbie's out, and he's a great player, great role player for us. So, I just want to come in, stick with what works, and, our line's going to be playing really well.
Robert, good luck. Thanks for this.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's Robert Thomas, guys. Let's go back to you.
All right, Andy and Robert, thanks so much. And there's a live shot outside of the Enterprise Center getting ready for Game 6. And joining us here on our stage outside the EC is the one and only, the voice of the Blues, John Kelly, who made it through the Madhouse. Congratulations, John. That's an accomplishment.
This is crazy out here. My God, how are you guys surviving, man? It's like a dream to me. Is it real? Right. But I think this dream has another level. I'll let you know in 3 hours.
Absolutely. All right, first your thoughts on Barbashev out tonight, and then followed up with Robert Thomas getting inserted into the line.
Well, you feel really bad for Ivan Barbashev. He has played so well. He's been the Blues' most physical player. But the league made its ruling. I think it was a bit of a warning after the hit on Hurdle, so perhaps he was on, probation in a way. But as far as Robert Thomas coming back in, I think it's, a fresh leg. 2 fresh legs coming in. He was so good in that Dallas series. I mean, I don't think the Blues win that series without the Thomas, Bozak, Maroon line. And you could tell, though, late in that San Jose series in Game 1 against Boston, that Robert wasn't the same player. So this rest probably is going to do him really good, and I expect Robert to be impactful in this game tonight.
Absolutely. All right, so we take a look at the forward lines again tonight with the loss of Ivan Barbashev. So Sammy Blais is going to move down to the 4th line for the Blues, and Sammy Blais kind of plays a 4th line mentality with the way he bangs around there, Jamie, and probably he's been effective, especially early in this series, banging some bodies, because that's one of the keys to what the Blues have gotten to this point.
Yeah, the luxury that the St. Louis Blues have had is that next man up mentality, but they actually have another man that's waiting there. The depth has been incredible. And Craig Berube, although he has to shuffle his lines a little bit here, Robert Thomas certainly slotting back in comfortably with Bozak and Maroon. Sammy Blais will drop down to the 4th line, play left wing. And yes, Ivan Barbashev has been fantastic, but Sammy Blais has been very physical as well. He's got good foot speed. He's more than willing to engage the opponent, and his defensive game has been much better lately, JK, and I think he's going to be just fine on that line.
All right, let's get to our Huff heating and cooling. We're going to go with the Ryan O'Reilly line here, John Kelly, because, man, O'Reilly's picked his game up, but also thanks in part to Zach Sanford. I think this is another one of many great stories of this hockey team, JK.
Yeah, Zach played the first couple of games against Winnipeg and then had been a healthy scratch for well over a month, and now has assists in 3 straight. And, of course, he's a Massachusetts native. He and his late dad grew up cheering the Bruins on, and he's been great, as I said, with assists in 3 games. So he's given that line a bit of a boost. And as far as O'Reilly, I think Jamie would agree. He is skating now as well as he did late in the regular season. I think he got banged up a little bit, has done a lot of, hard work going against the Scheifeleys of the world in the playoffs, and he's found his second win. And Ryan O'Reilly right now, you could argue, is playing as well as any forward in the series.
Yeah, Ryan O'Reilly, it's no secret. He's done most of the heavy lifting all season long for the St. Louis Blues. He has played in every situation, every big face-off, and in the postseason, like you said, JK, he's had a huge assignment against some of the best players in the NHL, and now it looks like he's got a little extra jump in his step. And for Zach Sanford, what I really like about what he's added is we knew he was a big guy. He could skate, he could pass, all those things. He's added a little bit of physicality, and I think that's gone a long way with that line. They like to grind the opponent down. Craig Berube loves the way they play, and with Zach Sanford adding a little bit of muscle with that 6'4" frame, it's really made a big difference in my opinion, Scotty.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's take a look at the Bruins lines tonight here in game number 6. And Bruce Cassidy, well, he's going to go with 12 forwards and 6 defensemen, which is interesting. And what's even more interesting is John Kelly, David Backes is not returning to the lineup for the Bees.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised he did not put Backes back in the lineup. Of course, he did not play in game 5, so he puts the youngster Kuhlman back in. But if you look at the Krejci line, except for the goal DeBrusk scored in game 5, which was on a delayed penalty, that line has not done a whole lot. And Jamie, as you know, Krejci is a really good passer. He's not a goal scorer, so they're looking for some kind of spark, and they're hoping that Kuhlman can give him that spark.
Yeah, exactly. He's a playmaking type of guy, and like you said, Jake DeBrusk has been relatively quiet here in this series. And you've seen even last game where Bruce Cassidy has slotted David Pasternak from time to time on that line, and he's done that throughout the postseason to try and ignite some offense, to try and get Pasternak going, because Krejci is such a passer. So it'll be interesting to see tonight how Bruce Cassidy matches up the lines against the St. Louis Blues and whether or not he will shuffle those guys around in order to get David Krejci a trigger man so that they can maybe put some points up.
And think about this. When you mention Pasternak and Marchand and Bergeron, as we see that top line, John Kelly, they've been effective on the power play, especially if you remember back to Game 3. But this first line has not produced any points among those three gentlemen on 5-on-5 hockey so far.
And it's amazing because a lot of people, as you guys know, think that this line, the Bergeron line, might be the best in hockey. But, I mean, the Blues' MO in this playoff season they have been able to check. They've checked the Jets. They checked the Jets-Scheifele line. In the second round, Jamie Benn and Sagan. You know, they did a little bit, not a lot. In the last round, they did a really good job against the high-scoring Shark Club. So that's what the Blues have done well to me. That's why, you know, they're a four-line team, great goaltending. But to me, the biggest attribute they have is they can check and just go ask the Bergeron line if they can check.
Yeah, they work extremely hard. And when they're on their game, when they're on their forecheck and they're possessing the puck, they're forcing guys like Bergeron and Marchand and Pasternak to play defense, which is not really what they want. Obviously, Patrice Bergeron is an excellent two-way player, but in order to create some offense, you have to have the puck. And the St. Louis Blues have done a great job of taking the puck out of their hands, and I don't think we can overlook Colton Parayko and Jay Bouwmeester. The job that they have done, along with whoever the forward line has been, they've been nothing short of spectacular.
Absolutely. JK, thanks for swinging up there. Enjoy it tonight, buddy.
It should be a special night for Blues and Blues fans. Thank you, guys.
Oh, you got it. All right. We're just rolling on here on this edition of Toyota Blues Live. Jordan Binnington on the cusp of making history as he looks to etch his name on the Stanley Cup as a rookie. Darren Payne joins us next to break down the goalies right here on Fox Sports Midwest.
Dear Fun, I just can't have enough of you. We are simpatico, my brother. Born to ride free, sing out loud, and tear up trails. I'd go anywhere with you. Seriously, you make me laugh my roof rails off. Let's go, RAV4.
Lease a new 2019 RAV4 for $259 per month, or get $1,250 finance cash when you buy a RAV4. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome to Freddy's. What can we get started for you?
I haven't had a carb in 3 weeks. I need a Freddy's Original double with cheese, please.
Coming right up.
If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. Freddy's, the experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Hey guys, we're live.
Geico for your boat.
Getting dressed can be rough on sensitive skin. Downy Free and Gentle has no perfumes, no dyes, and softens clothes for sensitive skin. The only one trusted by the National Psoriasis Foundation.
Fox Sports Midwest and the Blues ask you to help kids like Colin and raise money for cancer research by joining our official Pedal the Cause team. Sign up early and get a special team bike jersey presented by Fox Sports Midwest. Learn more at stlouisblues.com/pedal.
Ballpark Village. There must be something going on tonight in downtown St. Louis. I have no idea what. As you can see, the massive humanity and all the blue across not only Ballpark Village, but of course across downtown and here at the Enterprise Center as Blues fans getting set for game number 6 between the Blues and the Bruins as the Blues trying to make history tonight and close it out for their first ever Stanley Cup championship. And for their goaltender, Jordan Binnington, 1 win away from Stanley Cup and 1 win away from NHL history. His 15 wins this postseason is already tied for the most in a single postseason by a rookie goaltender. 1 more win, and he would sit in sole possession. Jamie and I are joined by the one and only Darren Pang. Holy jumping, is this place crazy, my man?
Holy jumping, it is crazy. No matter where you go in the city, restaurants, golf courses, bars.
Golf courses.
I happen to frequent one of those every once in a while, but it's been phenomenal. I mean, it's been polite, it's been nervous, there's been anxiety and anticipation of something great happening.
All right, well, we know that there's no anxiety or no nervousness as far as Jordan Binnington is concerned. And again, I go back to the other pregame show. You called it. You said Binnington had to steal a game, and he definitely did on Thursday night.
Well, he was the first, second, and third star for me. I mean, I think going into that type of environment, knowing the importance of Game 5, knowing that the Boston Bruins are going to throw everything at you, and yet he stood so tall. That save that you just saw was the one I said he's on his game. I mean, there was a lot of scrambles in tight, a lot of help, obviously, from his defensemen. The Boston Bruins are as creative a team as you're going to find there. They're one of the best teams I've seen going east to west, so when you're a goaltender or a defenseman, you get frozen in one spot, then you've got to go back the other way. Just the fatigue on your quads and your hamstrings and just how tiring it is. But his mental capacity was fantastic in that game and gave everybody life. And I kind of go back to that now thinking that's what Tuukka Rask and the Boston Bruins have to do in this game.
Sure.
So the Blues have to prepare for the very best from Tuukka Rask. And that's the great thing about hockey is the goaltender's the common denominator. He can stop 9 million shots. You can win a game 1-0, and that's it. But I do believe that the Blues are going to really pour it on early. I don't think there'll be nervousness. I think they're going to be on their toes right off the hop and go right at Tuukka Rask.
Well, you mentioned Tuukka Rask here, and your thoughts on him, because it looks like the Blues have gotten more success beating him on the blocker side than the glove side right now, Panger.
You know, a lot of goaltenders, you know, you're going to be able to pick apart a lot of things. A lot of the stats that you see, and I dive through the stats as well. Sometimes there's screens, sometimes there's tips. There's unique situations at times, but our left-hand shots have had a real good success margin on the stick side against Tuukka. So, you know, you try to stay as disciplined as possible in a certain location if you can. I mean, everybody says, I mean, a goalie drops his glove, you go high glove. I mean, how many times they say that about Matt Murray and the Pittsburgh Penguins, and you might beat him 1 every 19 and it's over the glove, and you go, oh, beat him over the glove. I will say this about Tuukka Rask. This is his great performance that he has had. He's played some, you know, calmness in the net. He hasn't got rattled. He hasn't emotionally been affected by anything, which in the past, he kind of had that tendency to do just that, where you can get in his kitchen a little bit, rattle the pans around, but not this year. So I think his calmness has been good for the Boston Bruins. Now it's about the Blues doing things like this. From the goal line, from below the goal line to the high slot. The push-offs as the season goes on, the fatigue in your legs, the power that you don't have going from the goal line out. And so those are some of the areas that I'm sure that the Blues are looking at here for Game 6 once again.
Yeah, I think the big thing here is the Blues are going to have to make sure that they stick to their game plan and move the puck side to side and get good quality shots. You can't expect Tuukka Rask to come in here and lay an egg. That is not the strategy you have to have. No. You got to be working on getting the puck to those areas, continue to get guys like Big Pat Maroon in front of the net, continue to battle for those rebounds. He has had a little bit of rebound control problems in the last couple of games. Let's hope that the Blues can exploit that this evening here in Game 6.
All right, the other one before we let you go, Panger, special teams obviously playing a big role, especially for Boston. They've scored a lot of goals on the power play. Blues are without Ivan Barbashev tonight. How does that affect the Blues, you think, at all?
You know, it's a good question, Scott. Hopefully the Blues remember what it was like without Oscar Sundqvist. Right. I mean, Barbashev and Sundqvist they're great. They feed off of one another. They're well connected on the PK and at even strength. So you obviously can't go to the penalty box. You know that we've had a lot of discussions about what went on in the last game with Bozak's trip and the goal after that. You know, the Blues can't play a careful game, but if you're going to play aggressive, you might end up in the penalty box. You're going to have to be careful in that area, in my opinion, because Barbashev, he's proven to be one of the best in the playoffs on the PK and obviously is a fourth-line player.
Yeah, I think the Blues, too, when you look at some of their success on the penalty kill the last couple of games, they've done a great job of getting in the shot lanes.
Yeah,
they haven't given a clear shot. Even when they get passes through the box or seam passes, guys like Alexander Steen come to mind right away. He's had some huge blocks. Big Bobby Bortuzzo last game, laying it on the line, sprawling out for
a big... Was that a two-pad slide save?
It was a double-stack pad.
That was a classic, wasn't it?
It was classic, old school.
Oh, big time.
Darren Pang, Ottawa 67's two-pad slide. But that's what it's going to take in a game like this, is if you do find yourself in the penalty box, you have to be willing to sacrifice everything in order to keep the opposition off the scoreboard.
Banger, good to see you. Thanks.
Yeah, you
Enjoy
too.
the game, buddy.
Great job. Thank you. Hopefully we don't have to go do this again.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We got more coming up on Toyota Blues Live. Whether it's been on offense or defense, the Blues D-men have provided plenty of spark this series. We'll talk about that when we come back on Fox Sports Midwest.
St. Louis is a city of history, founded by fur traders and named after a king. We cherish our neighborhoods, landmarks, and traditions. For more than 80 years and 4 generations, the Drews family has been serving St. Louis. Our homemade recipe has been handed down and passed on, and is still made in our 2 legendary stores on Grand and Chippewa. We're honored to have generations of your family enjoy the St. Louis original, Ted Drews Frozen Custard.
It's in our nature to explore the possibilities and embrace the unknown. We travel the same road, knowing the unexpected may occur. When you need us, we'll be there. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, Minnesota's motorcycle lawyers.
I'm feeling good.
Make the most of your business card with Vistaprint.
I'm feeling good.
500 standard cards start at just $9.99 with code BC Now.
I'm feeling good.
Own the now with Vistaprint.
Since 1976, the Dobbs family of associates has put customers first, treating them with respect while providing quality tires and expert automotive service at the most competitive prices in town. You too can depend on Dobbs. Come in today. For great deals on tires and auto service, check out Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers at gotodobbs.com. You'll find big savings on quality brand tires and expert auto service. Shop our deals, then save. Click on gotodobbs.com today.
They're the reigning champions. And the whole world is coming for their crown. So let them take their best shot. Just remember, you come with the queen. You best not miss.
Blues Live on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. There's our Darren Pang with all the masses. And of course, we are at Enterprise Center, and many will tell you this is the house that Brett Hall built. Of course, Brett Hall, the greatest of all time, 700 plus goals. He was one of a kind. There's no doubt about it. Let's go inside the Enterprise Center right now. The Golden Brett is with our own Andy Strickland. Andy?
All right, guys, thank you very much. This guy needs no introduction. You were pumped up before the previous game. Where are your emotions right now heading into Game 6?
Crazy. It's, I've been here before, and it's still, I may be more nervous right now than I was when I was in the dressing room back in 99 and 02. So I'm so excited. I can't even think.
Why are you so nervous?
It's because we need this for the city, and these guys have worked so hard and come from the bottom to the top, and it's the city deserves it. The ownership deserves it. Everyone deserves it.
Anybody who's been following along on social media or who's come down to the games, Brett, has seen how good of a time you're having. You're having the time of your life right now, aren't you?
Absolutely. It's way more fun to be on the outside, having fun with the city and with the fans than it is being in that dressing room and knowing that the world is on your shoulders. And I hope they come out and they just play their regular game, because they're a great team.
All right, speaking of the dressing room, you've been there before. Clinching game. You need one more game to win the Stanley Cup. What's going through their minds right now?
Well, you're looking, they're all looking at their veterans. They're looking at Steen, and they're looking at their leadership, and Tarasenko and Schwartz, and they're Pietrangelo, and they're saying, look at what are they doing? And they've been through the wars together, and they're like, they're looking at, is there anything different with those guys? And as long as they're normal and they feel it normal, that'll put them at ease, because there's a lot of young guys on this team and they need to be put at ease. And so right now we need our veterans to act like this is just another game, and let's go out and we'll play. And we've beat everyone. Now let's go out. All we need is one win. So all we have to do is win one. Doesn't matter if it's 10-1, 1-0, 3-1, triple over. Who cares? All we have to do is win.
You've been around this organization for decades. What would a Stanley Cup mean in terms of this being a game changer for the community and just the overall brand of the St. Louis Blues?
Well, it kind of almost makes it, doesn't it? It's like, you know, it's like a recipe, and you got all the recipes and you put them all together, but every time you put them together, it kind of came out, and you didn't win the bake-off. You know, you win this game tonight, we're the Betty Crocker champs, and we're real, and we're a franchise. And not that we weren't before, but it really solidifies. Anybody who says that it doesn't matter, it does matter.
All right, I tell you to have fun, but I know you'll have fun. Enjoy this one, Holy, and we'll see you after.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Let's go Blues.
The Golden Brett guys.
Andy Foley, thanks so much. We look at the Blues D pairs real quickly here, and Craig Berube, no changes as the Blues get set for Game 6 to try to close it out in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Bruins. Let's talk some D-men right now. Let's start with the captain, Alex Pietrangelo. What a postseason run for this guy. 14 assists, 16 points so far for the captain. That's most by a Blues defenseman in a single postseason, JR.
He has been sensational. He has logged a ton of minutes along with Jay Bouwmeester and Colton Parayko. But this, for me, although Alex Pietrangelo has had a lot of success in his career, both in the NHL and internationally with the Olympics, this has felt like a coming-out party for him, Scott. You know, he's the captain of the St. Louis Blues, and he's one of the guys who they've had to lean upon during the troubled times this season, and now look where they are, and he's one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle. So really a tremendous job by Alex Pietrangelo on both sides of the puck. He plays so much, and he's been a great leader throughout this entire run.
And real quickly, Jay Bouwmeester, what can you say? He leads the actual defenseman in hits heading into Game 6. Unbelievable. His turnaround to the season.
Yeah, it's unbelievable because Jay Bouwmeester's not a physical guy by nature, but you know what? He's a veteran player that knows exactly what it's going to take to get what they want ultimately out of these playoffs. And you know what? He's never been this far. Until a handful of years ago, he hadn't played a playoff game. So this is a guy that wants it really bad, and you can tell just by looking at that. You look at the block shots. He has been sensational, and he has been instrumental in shutting down that Bergeron line along with Colton Parayko.
All right, we continue to get you ready for Game 6 between the Blues and the Bruins as we continue on Total Blues Live. When we come back, we'll get to some of Jamie's keys next.
Dear Fun, I just can't have enough of you. We are simpatico, my brother. Born to ride free, sing out loud, and tear up trails. I'd go anywhere with you. Seriously, you make me laugh my roof rails off. Let's go, RAV4.
Lease a new 2019 RAV4 for $259 per month, or get $1,250 finance cash when you buy a RAV4. Find yours at wh33ly.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Free tire. Buy 3, get 1 free at Plaza Tire Service on select tires. Plaza Tire Service is celebrating 56 years with buy 3, get 1 free on select Falcon and Yokohama tires. Get an unbeatable deal with buy 3, get 1 free on select tires at Plaza Tire Service.
The Panger Player of the Week Award, sponsored by Urban Chestnut Brewing Company. Prost.
Holy jumping, little fella. You're going to find yourself in a new Blues home soon. You are some good-looking little guy, aren't you?
TrueCar is great for finding new cars. You're smart, you already knew that. But it's also great for finding the perfect used car. You'll see what a fair price is, and you can connect with a TrueCar certified dealer. Now you're even smarter. This is TrueCar.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Children's Cancer Research Fund, we believe a world without childhood cancer is possible, but it takes all of us. And whether it's developing a groundbreaking treatment or helping a girl realize her dream, everyone has a role in a child's cancer journey.
People ask me how I keep a smile on my face. It's easy when you have so many great people that take care of you and support you.
To find out how you can be a part of a child's cancer journey and a part of the cure, visit childrenscancer.org, a public service message from Children's Cancer Research Fund.
There you see a live shot at Ballpark Village as they are getting ready for Game 6 between the Blues and the Bruins, as the Blues trying to make history tonight and win their first ever Stanley Cup final here in downtown St. Louis. Jamie Rivers, as we get set, your final thoughts and some of your keys to the Blues making history here tonight.
Yeah, final thoughts and keys all in one here are for the Blues to stay focused. Obviously, it's a real energetic feel to the environment here today, but they've got to stay focused, got to come out, play their game, get some shots on net, get a bang in early, get something going. Let's not get too carried away. Let's stay in the moment and play Blues hockey, and I know Craig Berube will have these guys ready to go.
Stay out of the penalty box would be huge as well. All right, folks, a reminder, join us immediately following the game for Missouri Lottery Blues Live. Folks, enjoy Game 6. Hopefully we will share history later on tonight on Fox Sports Midwest.
Welcome to Freddy's.
My parents are cutting out all desserts, but a kid needs a treat. A dirt and worm sundae, please.
You got it, sir.
If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. Freddy's, the experience that puts a smile